Good morning. It is Monday, November 23rd. This is Pastor Jeff, and we are here for the daily lectionary reading. Once again, for the daily lectionary reading, we have 3 readings. Our psalm reading is Psalm chapter 7. Our Old Testament reading is Esther chapter 2, verses 1 through 18. And our New Testament reading is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 8 through 13. Let us hear our scriptures. First, our psalm reading, Psalm 7. A David psalm. God, I am running to you for dear life. The chase is wild. If they catch me, I'm finished. Ripped to shreds by foes fierce as lions. Dragged into the forest and left unlooked for. I'm remembered. God, if I've done what they say, betrayed my friends, ripped off my enemies, if my hands are really that dirty, let them get me. Walk all over me. Let me flat on my face in the dirt. Stand up, God. Pit your holy fury against my furious enemies. Wake up, God. My accusers have packed the courtroom. It's judgment time. Take your place on the bench. Reach for your gravel. Throw out the false charges against me. I'm ready. I am confident in the verdict. Innocent. Close the book on evil, God, but publish your mandate for us. You get us ready for life. You probe us for our soft spots. You knock off the rough edges, and I'm feeling so fit, so safe. Made right, keep right. God in solemn honor does these things right. But his nerves are sandpapered raw. Nobody gets by with anything. God is already in action. Sword honed on his whetstone, bow strung, arrow on the string, lethal weapon in hand. Each arrow is a flaming missile. Look at that guy. He had sex with sin. He's pregnant with evil. Oh, look, he's having the baby. A lie, baby. See, the man shoveling day after day, digging and then concealing his man trap down the lonely stretch of road. Go back and look again. You'll see him in the headfirst, legs wavering in the breeze. That's what happens. Mischief backfires, violent boomerangs. I'm thanking God who makes things right. I'm singing the fame of the heaven high God. Our Old Testament reading today comes from the book of Esther, chapter 2, verses 1 through 18. Later, when King Xerxes' anger had cooled, he was having second thoughts about what Vashti had done and what he had ordered against her. The king's young attendant stepped in and got the ball rolling. Let's begin a search for beautiful young virgins for the king. Let the king appoint officials in every province of his kingdom to bring every beautiful young virgin to the palace complex of Susa and to the harem run by Hegai, the king's eunuch who oversees the women. He will put them through their beauty treatments. Then let the girl whose best pleases the king be made queen in the place of Vashti. The king liked this advice and took it. Now there was a Jew who lived in the place complex in Suas. His name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite. His ancestors had been taken from Jerusalem with the exiles and carried off with the king of Jehoiakim of Judah by King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon into exile. Mordecai had reared his cousin Hadassah, otherwise known as Esther, since she had no father or mother. The girl had a good figure and a beautiful face, and her parents died. Mordecai had adopted her. When the king's order had been publicly posted, many young girls were brought to the palace complex of Susa and given over to Hegai, who was the overseer of the women. Esther was among them. Hegai liked Esther and took a special interest in her. Right off, he started her beauty treatments, ordered special food, assigned her 7 personal maids from the palace, and put her and her maids in the best rooms in the harem. Esther didn't say anything about her family and racial background because Mordecai had told her not to. Every day Mordecai strolled beside the court of the harem to find out how Esther was and get news on how she was doing. Each girl's turn came to go into the king Exos, and after she had completed the 12 months of prescribed beauty treatments, 6 months treatment with oil and myrrh, followed by 6 months with perfumes and various cosmetics. When it was time for the girls to go to the king, she was given whatever she wanted to take with her when she left the harem into the king's quarters. She would go there in the evening. In the morning she would return to a second harem overseen by Shashka, the king's eunuch in charge of the concubines. She never again went back to the king unless the king took a special liking to her and asked her by name. When it was Esther's turn to go to the king, Esther, the daughter of Abmaher, the uncle of Mordecai, who had adopted her as his daughter, she asked for nothing other than what Haggai, the king's eunuch in charge of the harem, had recommended. Esther, just as she was, won the admiration of everyone who saw her. She was taken to the king Xeros in the royal place of the 10th month, the month of Tabath, in the 7th year of the king's reign. The king fell in love with Esther far more than with any of his other women or any of the other virgins. He was totally smitten by her. He placed the royal crown on her head and made her queen in place of Vashti. Then the king gave a great banquet and all his nobles and officials. Esther's banquet. He proclaimed a holiday for all the provinces and handed out gifts with royal generosity. Our New Testament reading today comes from the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verses 8 through 13. Hear these words. Fix this picture firmly in your mind. Jesus, descended from the line of David, raised from the dead. It's what you have heard from me all along. It's what I'm sitting in jail for right now. But God's word isn't in jail. That's why I stick it out here, so that everyone God calls will get in on the salvation of Christ and all its glory. This is the sure thing. If we die with him, we'll live with him. If we stick it out with him, we'll rule with him. If we turn our backs on him, he'll turn his back on us. If we give up on him, he does not give up. For there is no way he can be false to himself. And there ends our readings for the day.